Yes, people. Hang on, bro. You'll be able to see me in a sec. Yes, people. The title of the stream is very scary. Don't be worried too much yet. Obviously, we don't know the ins and outs of it. But yeah, the title of the stream, no January signings at Manchester City, which is pretty worrying, to say the least. Worrying, to say the least, is probably what I'd call it. The fact of no January signings is a mad one. Oh, that's two of me. There you go. The fact of no January signings is a mad one. Sorry, just sorting out Hugh's camera for him so he can see me as well. You know what I mean? So he can actually look like he's talking to someone. So we'll go through this in a sec and get what people get people's thoughts on it. If you haven't already, please hit the like button. It helps other people find the stream, helps people who haven't seen us before just jump onto it, and also helps that algorithm out. And it's like a easy way, quick way for to support us. And also, if you are new, subscribe to the channel. We're past 85k now, and we're on the way to 100k. So big up to everyone in the stream and everyone who's been supporting us recently. It has been a mad one. So here's the news. Here's the news to start with. Obviously, we had the news before a little bit about the whole. We did a stream before about the whole Super League thing, like just a little quick overview thing of it. But here's the news of the no January signings, and it's not from a dead source for people that are saying, "Oh yeah, this is clickbait. This surely must be clickbait." Not a chance. David Ornstein, Tier 0 goated player, says that no senior signings are planned at City during the transfer window, the January transfer window. So, what that means is you're probably going to see someone like a Valentin Barco or someone like that, but it's not going to be no senior signings for Manchester City. Mr. Hugh Murray, what are your instant thoughts on that?
I'm tired. I'm tired. I think this is a mistake. Look. Who am I to question the board? Who am I to question Pep? Who am I to question whatever? But my personal opinion, I've said this dozens of times to you a lot, is that the squad is thin. The squad is thin. Now, it's great. We're on a high right now. We've got the news that we've a fully fit squad for the first time since, or at least a fully training squad for the first time since August or whatever it was. That's fantastic. But you think about after Christmas, that February all the way through to May period, you know, you're hoping to have Champions League quarterfinals, you're hoping to have FA Cup quarterfinals and semi-finals, and you're pushing for a league. If you think we're going to get through that whole entire period with no injuries, no suspensions, you're wrong. First of all, we will have more injuries, we will have more suspensions, as that's the nature of the game. But even before injuries and suspensions, I thought the squad was thin. I said that in August, just before the first ball was kicked in the league. I felt the squad was thin in an attacking sense. I think personally, I would really, really like another winger. I would like another right wing option, maybe another midfield, maybe replace Calvin Phillips. Like, we're going to lose Calvin Phillips as much as he's not an integral part.
Calvin Phillips is gone.
As much as he's not an integral part of the squad, he's still a body in the squad. And we're about to lose another body in the squad. So go and replace that. Valentin Barco, he's not going to move mountains when he comes in straight away. You don't expect that of him. That's not fair. So I think it's a mistake. I think it's a red flag. I think, like, I look at that March period, bro. I don't know if you've had a look at it. You've got United at home, Arsenal at home. You got Anfield. You got Tottenham. You got Champions League, maybe. How are we meant to do that with the same, essentially, 11 players playing? Kevin De Bruyne is, 32, 33? He ain't playing every single one. If you pin your hopes on him, everything, you're wrong.
Kev ain't going to play every single game to the end of the season. I think we need to manage his minutes anyway, given the fact of his injury. Dash in the chat there says Ornstein is a PR merchant for Arsenal, Chelsea United. He doesn't have much information on City. Liverpool transfer due us being very private. That's not information. That's not correct. David Ornstein is one of the most trusted sources for Manchester City as well. He's like up there. David Ornstein speaks, you listen. That's the situation with David Ornstein, Dash, mate. It's not the situation that he's chatting shit or like it's not something to believe. But Elder says I don't believe that we won't. He doesn't believe that we won't sign anyone. I mean, it could just be a thing that City is saying to David Ornstein, like, "Yo, we ain't gonna sign anyone." Or the wording of it is interesting because he says no senior signings are planned, but maybe City are thinking like if Calvin Phillips leaves, then that changes that plan. Do you know what I mean? But I think the club are basically putting him up for sale anyway. He's on shop window mode, and they want to get rid of him permanently. So it's a bit of a weird one for Ornstein to come out and say that no senior signings are planned during the January transfer window. That would tell me that City are basically using this as going, right, okay, all our targets we're going to go for in summer rather than trying to move anyone in January. And I know City don't really move in January. It's not a thing that's been that much for us. Obviously, I know we went and got Laporte in January, things like that, but it's not really a time that City kind of switch it up. But I think it's a weird one, mate. I think it's a weird one for City to not move in this window, especially when you were losing Calvin Phillips. There's no backup to Rodri that's like viable. There's no viable option who can play in that Rodri role other than John Stones, and even then, not really sure about it. So I think it'd be very strange for us to not at least try and go for someone in January.
I'm not totally distraught by this news because I don't think Ornstein's lying. I think Ornstein, as you say, is one of the most trusted sources when it comes to football in general. So I'm not distraught because I don't like at face value. You're kind of like, oh, this is a wrong move. Like I said, I've gone over it. I think it's the wrong move. But I think the point you're making is it's very applicable and it's very relevant that City aren't like they're. Where's City going to say to David Ornstein, we plan on doing loads of business in January. We plan on spending fuckloads of money. We plan on throwing 300 million around. Go and tell the world that's the plan. No, because that will also damage City's transfer strategies. Because it means anybody who City approached about a player go, we know you have cash. We know you're looking for players, so we're going to put an even higher premium. There are strategies involved in transfer dealings. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is incorrect, but I'm not saying Ornstein is lying either. Yeah. He's just relaying information that he's been given. I mean, it's tough.
If he gets told something, he comes out with it. But what's to say that what he's been told is 100%? Do you know what I mean? Like that's what I said. The wording is very interesting. There's no signings that are planned yet. But. Yeah, of course. No signs that are planned yet.
They are. Listen, we are the best run football club in the world. I doubt highly that City don't have players planned that they could sweep for in every January transfer window should they feel it's really, really necessary. We don't do it very often because generally we're well prepared, we're in a good position. The word is that City don't like to do business in January because they feel it's a reflection of poor preparation for the season. They feel it makes them look like they didn't prepare for the season properly. But unfortunately, sometimes you have to swallow your pride and say, look, the way the season's panned out, circumstances have changed. We've had 2 suspensions for Rodri. We've had long-term injuries for John Stones. We've had long-term injury for Kevin De Bruyne. And you can't risk that that's the end of that sort of thing happening. You need to strengthen. You can't rely on Mateo Kovacic becoming a Gundogan Mark II. You can't rely on Mateus Nunes growing at a rapid, fast rate to the point where he is a mainstay midfielder in this team. You can't rely on Doku and Grealish to be the right and left wingers or Foden. Like, you know what I'm saying? You have to plan for things as best you can. I personally think, even with this news, that we're still going to do business. But if we get to the January deadline day and we've not done any business, I'll be sitting here going, my confidence for winning the league is dipping. I think it's somewhat make or break.
I just think it'd be not naive. Do you know what I mean? I get it. We don't do business. I get the club's motto on that and stuff. But we've heard in the past few weeks that there will be a budget for Pep to spend in January if he does want it. Now that's why I just keep going back to the word planned, because planned is such a that's the word there. What I'm looking at and pivoting off that, because that's where I think. Yeah, planned is where he kind of, like, he's not said no signings at City, door shut. It's planned. No senior signings are planned. Yeah, mate. All right, but that the possibility there is still open. If Calvin Phillips leaves, then do you know what I mean? I just seen Craig Party saying there said they'd say 1 in 1 out policy, and that's what we've had for a few seasons now, is the 1 in 1 out policy for senior players. So at the moment it's not planned because Calvin Phillips is still here. However, Calvin Phillips to leave, then that's the 1 in 1 out, and then that's the way that we move. But for what we've heard, it is that it's there is going to be a budget there in January for us to go and sign people. So this is confusing, and like I say, it could just be David Ornstein saying what he's been told, that no signings are planned, which is fine, but that doesn't mean that no signings are going to happen in the slightest. It's not definitive. That statement is not definitive. It's not like no signings at all. It's none are planned at this moment in time.
Look, I don't claim to be no footballing expert. You know what I mean? I don't claim to know more than Cheeky or claim to know more than Pep. I might do. Now, I'm not blowing smoke up my own arse, but I might do. But no, I don't claim to know more than any of them. But look, I can see, the chat can see, you can see that we are one long-term injury away from, for someone like Rodri or De Bruyne, away from really not challenging properly, not being ourselves at all. If Rodri goes and gets a bad injury February 1st when the window's closed and he's out for say 3 months, for me that's us out of the league. Do you know what I'm saying? That's genuinely us not winning the league. Same with Kevin De Bruyne. If his hamstring injury reoccurs, we're not winning the league. So the board will know this. The board will know this, and I really doubt that they don't have a list of players that they could dip in for in January should they decide to. Like I said, I think this is just David Ornstein relaying information he's been told. That's just his job. That's what he does. He relays information from sources he believes to be credible. But these circumstances can change people. They can change massively, and you really can't take anything at face value anymore. There's nothing you can take at face value and say, well, this is what's going to happen. So how many times were we told Haaland's not going to go to City by pretty reliable journalists? How many times were we told all sorts of things that ended up happening or not happening?
Yeah, well, things move, things change. Do you know what I mean? Like, as much as you can have the idea that one thing will happen, sometimes it goes the other way. Mohammed, yes, it's Mohammed with a 2. Big up, Mohammed, mate. It says 1 Rodri injury away from being season over, and that's exactly what Hugh was saying there. And this ties into what someone just said in the chat there. Let me go to it. Herbal says, why is it we need a CDM in January? I don't get that logic at all. We need a creative midfielder who can play box to box while also having the ability to cover for the CDM role. We need a Gundo type. Yeah, but like a Gundo type is still like, we're still looking for a CDM role. I think like if we lose Calvin Phillips, which we imagine we will do, it's just Rodri in that role. It is just Rodri in that CDM position, and that's a concern for me heavily. We need someone who is a viable option to play that. Now, if we can go sign a box to box midfielder like a Gundo, who can play that role also, then that's perfect scenario. It's just whether that player exists right now.
Chat, make sure you do us a favour. 250 in the building. Make sure you've hit the like button. It massively helps when you just hit the like button. Free to do and supports us massively. And subscribe if you're new around here. I don't know, have you seen this, bro? 45 minutes ago, Tolmy said Andre has personally asked Pep to sign him next month. Also, whisper Fernandinho has given him a glowing reference. Is Andre, if I'm not mistaken, is a number 6, isn't he? He's a holding midfielder.
Yeah, CDM for Fluminense. Played 60 games last season, has 17 yellow cards last season as well, which we went through before, and we kind of still a lot. He got 11 yellow cards in the league. It's still a lot. But I think it'd be a good option though. It'd be a good option. He's around £30 million. So it's something I haven't actually seen that from Tolmy. I haven't actually seen that. I'm just going off the news that we've seen throughout the past couple of days that Andre basically has pleaded to City to sign him, which I think is crazy, man. Which is crazy. Just quickly, Amar as well with a 2. Yes, Amar, mate. Pick up, mate. Appreciate the super chat. It says we played Fernandinho at centre back over signing someone in January. Yeah, but then who else would do that? Who else would do the CDM like John Stones? But then John Stones gets injured.
It's easier to get someone to slot into centre half than it is to get someone to slot into CDM. It just is. It's too complex. It's number 6 for us. The holding midfielder role. It's the most important role in the pitch. And if you disagree with that, all you have to do is look at the periods that Rodri wasn't available for. We didn't win a single game. So the number 6 role being played to a high efficient level, it's crucial to the way we play football. But you know what I mean? We see Akanji playing centre half. We see John Stones playing centre half. We see Ake Vardiol playing centre half. It's easier to find players to slot in centre half than it is to find players to slot in and do even close to what Rodri does for us. I've made this clear so many times to you guys in the channel. We're not going to get another Rodri. We're not going to find Rodri Mark II who's going to come in and offer the same output that Rodri does, the same impact that Rodri does. You need someone who's going to come in and offer it to a serviceable level. Is Andre that guy? We're going to get a look at him tomorrow. We're going to see a bit of him tomorrow, aren't we?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. We'll see this Andre Donny. Zoe Best. I think I don't understand is we're linked to Palhinha and Andre from credible sources. Yet Ornstein say we're not going to get a senior signing. Yeah, that's the thing, man. He's saying that no signings are planned. Yet we're hearing like Pep's going to discuss with Andre or look at the possibility of signing him, and then we're getting linked to the £50 million move for Palhinha. Maybe this is more of just a tactic from City to just dumb it down a bit. Do you know what I mean? So there's not too much talk before the January transfer window starts. But it's definitely confusing. It's definitely confusing. I think Palhinha would be a good signing, but it's definitely a weird one at this moment in time. I'm with you, bro. I don't see City going to the end of this. I don't see City going to the end of this January transfer window having not signed a senior player. Andre, I think he would be a senior player. I get he's only 22 years old, but he would be a senior player because he'd come in and be back up to Rodri. And Palhinha would definitely be a senior player. £50 million. They're both a £30 million signing and a £50 million signing. These are not. I don't see a situation where these aren't senior signings. They are. Mm-hmm. It's just the fact that they are senior signings. So that's why I keep going back to this planned.
I look at the competitions we're still in, bro. I look at the two main competitions that we chase every year, and that is the Champions League and the Premier League. When you look at the Champions League, I think the squad we have right now is capable of winning the Champions League. I'd say we're probably favourites to win the Champions League with a fully fit squad, but I have to emphasise fully fit squad because we're not going to have a fully fit squad between now and the Champions League final. It's not happening. We're going to have bumps along the way. So, Champions League, in theory, yeah, we could win with a bit of luck along the way. The Premier League, I am pretty confident without signings in January, we don't go the distance. I really don't, because I'm just so conscious of injuries and suspensions and how thin the squad is anyway. We don't have many players that you can bring off the bench and are a guaranteed impact. I mean, you even look at Arsenal, yeah? They can bring on Trossard. He is a guaranteed impact. He's going to come on and he's going to offer something different. You look at Liverpool, they bring on Gakpo, they bring on Diogo Jota, they'll bring on Darwin Núñez, whoever, depending on who starts the game. They have guaranteed impact. We have Doku. I see that, Daniel. We have Doku. Is that enough? Probably not. You want midfield options. You want creative options. You want ball retaining options. That's the way we operate. Last season, you'd have Mahrez will come off the bench. You'd have Bernardo might come off the bench. You'd have Foden might come off the bench. And it worked. There was depth. We have Núñez, but whilst Núñez is progressing nicely, we've seen good signs of him. He's not there yet. Would you throw Núñez out in the Bernabeu next week? No, you wouldn't. He's not ready for that yet. He played well in Belgrade. He played well in the semi-final of the Club World Cup. He needs to just keep moving along. He's one for the future, or like the short to medium term future. Not right now. We need instant impact, if you ask me.
Yeah, well, yeah, but that's why you make January January transfers is for the instant impact. Unless a player comes available who like you don't want to miss out on, so you got to get in there early, and it's one of your targets, and then you move for that because obviously they come available in January. However, you sign players in January to impact your season right now, to make a difference to your season. That's what the January transfer window is for, is to help you to basically get better midway point. And like City's stance on it. City's stance on it is very much that January transfers show poor planning in summer, but. You know what I mean? I do feel like we missed out on targets in summer, and obviously, as the season's gone on, you can see places where we're lacking, like creativity. Obviously, we are creating quite a bit of chances now, which is good. But still, it'd be nice to get someone who can unlock a defence in that midfield, which I think we're gonna have to wait until summer for. But a box to box, a Gundo type would be nice. Kovacic isn't that very good. I know he scored the other day. Not very good going forward, but. I think he will still be utilised even if we get another midfielder in. I feel like this is why I'm fully in the boat of going and getting Palhinha. I think Palhinha would be a great option. Someone said before a minute ago that Palhinha wouldn't come to be a backup to Rodri, and then we're getting Craig saying that he could play next to Rodri. He could play a box to box role as well, which I believe that Palhinha could do as well. I just think we're in a weird position. I've seen EMTV saying about our academy, Mahamadou Sissoko. Yeah. And I know that he's available and he has been on the bench a few times, but still, that's ham to just say, yeah, well, look, Mahamadou, mate, 18 years old, you are now the Rodri backup. So when Rodri gets a red card, you're in. I mean, that's major sink or swim. And Pep doesn't move like that. Pep usually is more of a embed you into the team very slowly, like rather than just going, you're in, that's it, fully, you're in now, you play every game. Like I don't see that.
I agree, and I think Mohammed Superchat here, big up Mohammed for the 199. It's something we have to be conscious of. and he says it's unfair to put all the pressure on KDB after his injury.
I
Whilst
agree.
KDB is a magnificent player, and I'm so certain he's gonna really impact for us. You can't pin all your hopes on Kevin De Bruyne. You can't pin all your hopes on Kevin De Bruyne just dragging us from now to winning a Premier League or a Champions League or both or an FA Cup as well, whatever. And you also can't pin your hopes on Kevin De Bruyne not getting any more knocks along the way. You know what I mean? Like, his hamstring is going to be somewhat fragile after having 2 serious hamstring injuries. You have to be conscious of that. You need to supplement Kevin De Bruyne rather than throw Kevin De Bruyne in the deep end. You need to get players around Kevin De Bruyne who are going to help him and be able to make changes that are going to help Kevin De Bruyne, rather than say, right, Kev's back, everything's fixed. We don't need January business because Kev is back. That can't run.
It's putting a lot on Kev's shoulders there, and also we know just by history of Kevin De Bruyne and by the experience of what we've had with Kev, it takes the guy a couple of weeks to get into things.
Mm-hmm.
I genuinely feel like Kev, as much as I'd love it, it'd be sick if he just hit the ground running and just instantly just was dialed in and was those top tier Kev straight away. But my realistic brain says it's probably going to take him a few weeks to get back into the rhythm of things, back into the flow of the game and getting his match sharpness up there. I think it'll take a few weeks to get to that, and we don't know what it's going to be like after his injury. Obviously, a big injury that he's had. He's been out for quite a while. We don't know what the situation will be. And yeah, there's ifs and buts, which is very much what we're going on. But I'd hope he does bits, but there's always the chance that it'll take him quite a while to get into it. And then all that pressure that you're putting on his shoulders, if Kev don't deliver that, then you can't blame him. Do you know what I mean? Like it's all right for us to put all this pressure on Kev, but we can't blame Kev if he doesn't deliver straight away. Like I say, you should be fixing us. You should be fixing us this season. You're the problem. You're the reason why we're not going to win a league. You were meant to fix us. Like it's a lot of pressure to put on Kev for that second half. That's why I do think like getting someone else in January, another midfielder in January, would help us quite a lot. I think it'd help us do bits.
He's going to start on the bench for a while as well, Kev. Like, you're not going to be able to go from playing no football for 5-6 months to within 2 weeks of your return just starting games and playing 90 minutes. He might get the first half of smaller games and take him off. He might get the last 20 minutes. Like, it'll be another while after his return before you see Kevin De Bruyne first name of the team sheet again. When he's fully fit and he's match sharp again, he'll be back to being first name of the team sheet. But there's going to be a period of grace where Kevin De Bruyne has to be eased back into the full throttle competitive football, because that's the nature of long-term injuries. You can't just come back. So it's not a case of even, when he is back in however many weeks, 3 or 4 weeks, playing on the pitch again, that, okay, we're fixed, we're sorted. No, you have to give him time to get ready to get prepared for playing football every week again. And then, like I said, you got to do January business. I really, really believe we must do January business. So, look, it is what it is.
I think we need to be. I think we need to be moving in January. There is some news. There is some news that is just coming out now. It's not really one of them, but I think it's what we all expected anyway. Obviously, today we had the news that last night. So we had the news that the Super League was allowed to reform and become a thing legally with no input from UEFA. However, Manchester City have officially rejected the Super League again. We've come out straight away, obviously now, and said it's not a thing. The club has released a statement, which I can read out to you now. It's only short. Manchester Football Club confirmed in 2021 that it formally enacted the procedures to withdraw from the group developing plans from a European Super League. Our position has not changed. We remain committed to working with fellow clubs throughout the ECA and to participation in UEFA competitions. There you go. No Super League for Manchester City, which I think is the correct move from City. There's quite a few clubs who have already pulled out of this straight away. The shit show of the last Super League ain't happening again. So, and at this moment in time, as much as the Super League are trying to reform, they don't have enough clubs available right now to even start it. So,
this is just the beginning, though. It's they're not going to just quit their attempts now. They're going to.
No, we knew that after number one.
Yeah, but now that they have basically freedom to keep trying. Because of the new thing.
Well, the money that's involved as well. Like, so this is currently the the teams now, it's been updated this. If you go to Deadline Day Live, they have like a list of teams and they keep updating that tweet with the teams that have rejected the Super League. So United and City are both out. They're the only two teams from England right now to have when I say pulled out, they officially made a statement to say that they're not going to be involved. There could be other clubs that aren't going to be involved. They've just not made a statement yet. Sevilla, Valencia, Atletico Madrid, Real Sociedad, Villarreal are all out in Spain. In Germany, Bayern and Dortmund are out. In France, PSG and Monaco both out. Don't want anything to do with it. And in Italy, Inter, Roma and Pescara have all made statements to confirm that none of them are going to be involved in the new Super League format. Napoli are expected to be the first Italian team to say yes, they want in, and Real Madrid and Barcelona are currently in. There is more news on this, which we went through in the previous stream, which I don't know if you've seen, Hugh. UEFA have basically, I know everyone's saying, oh, the new Super League format is better than the new Champions League format with this legacy thing. Well, UEFA have turned around and gone, yeah, we're going to bin that new format that we said. UEFA are sticking with this season's Champions League format moving forward, which I think is great.
They're bastards too.
UEFA are dickheads anyway. But the fact that we don't have to go through this legacy club thing anymore, that we don't have to change the Champions League thing. Apparently, they're U-turning. They're doing a U-turn and they're not gonna do that format anymore.
Still not good enough as far as I'm concerned. I still find legacy club or no legacy club, current structure or new structure, I still think it's a lot of bollocks. I've gone through this on this channel loads of times before. Mm-hmm. I think the structure of European football is totally skewed, is totally lacking integrity. It's all for the rich clubs to continue staying rich. It's all for the big clubs to continue playing in the latter stages of European competition, and it's all designed for the non-legacy clubs around Europe, the smaller countries around Europe with smaller populations, with smaller TV deals, to have basically little to no access. I've given examples in this before. Mm-hmm. I'm from what's a small country in Ireland of 5 million people. We don't have a massive TV deal. We do have a national league called the League of Ireland. Now, Shamrock Rovers have won the League of Ireland the last 4 years in a row. They've not competed in the group stage of the Champions League once. They've been forced to play, if they want to get there, 4 rounds of qualifiers to get into the Champions League. So their season, European football-wise, starts at the end of June, early July. Now, for Rovers, that's fine because they're mid-season anyway. The league runs from March to November. But that's not the point. The point is, if it's a true integral Champions League tournament, the champions of every single European league will be granted access to the Champions League group stages. That goes for Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia, Scotland, Ireland, whoever. There's no integrity. Now, it suits us because we're English Premier League, we're a big club in Europe, and we reap the rewards from that. But if we're looking at it objectively as football people rather than just Manchester City people, the whole thing is a lot of bollocks. It does not favour or reward success in your domestic league if you're told to go and play 4 rounds of qualifiers. Absolute shit. Celtic are a legacy club as well. They won the Champions League before any of us. They won in 1967, before Manchester United in 68, way before Chelsea, way before us, and way before Liverpool. And yet they go win 9 in a row, and they've got to do 4 rounds of qualifiers. Absolute bollocks, mate. UEFA can go fuck themselves. Super League can go fuck themselves, and I'll continue to boo every time I'm in the Etihad. Absolute no time, mate.
Go on, Hugh Murray. Yeah, man. I remember you did a video on this quite a while ago as well.
I'm a football fan, man. I'm a football fan before I'm a City fan. We're all football people. You know what I mean? We're following with the sport. And if we're going to actually talk about it from a City perspective, great. We'll always be in the group stages. We'll always have a good chance of winning the competition. But if you're an integral football fan and you think the structure of UEFA competitions is integral, you're wrong and you're blind. It's not fair.
Well, obviously, I still don't back UEFA anyway. Do you know what I mean? The whole Bruyne thing, I'm all for that. It doesn't mean I didn't love winning the Champions League and that. Obviously, it's next level. It's next level to win the Champions League. It was sick. But I also said at the same time, once we've done that, we've completed it, mate. I'm happy now, innit? Do you know what I mean? We did it. But yeah, I am glad that they've U-turned on the decision to change the Champions League format. But like I say, it still doesn't mean it's better. It's still wild.
It's not a Champions League, mate. It's not a Champions League. It's not a Champions League. It's branded and named a Champions League. It's just the big league, the big money league.
It is the big league. Because they want the teams with the most money to be in there. They want the teams with the most viewing and things like that to be in there because that's how they make their money off like TV deals and stuff like that.
How are you trying to tell me that in England, 4 clubs every year second, third, and fourth, and they're trying to get fifth as of recently into the group stages of the Champions League, into the main stage of the competition for coming fourth, fifth, third, and second. That is absolute nonsense. When you're getting clubs fighting all season to win their league, to be told they got to go and play 4 and 5 rounds of qualifiers. Fuck right off with your Champions League. It has no integrity. I'll want to win it every season, but I'll still boo your goddamn anthem. Honestly, think about it, people. It's rubbish. Absolute rubbish.
Yeah, man. Fans equal customer nowadays. That is fact, Elder, mate. That is fact. The fans have thought about last. It's not about the fan. It's about how much money they can make. I've seen some people saying about players. Zerfa there says, I really think we should be going for this Andre play in January. Yeah, so I've seen a few people saying, is it clickbait? It's not clickbait. David Ornstein has come out and said that we won't be making any senior signings as planned in January. There's no signings planned senior-wise. However, there is kind of the plan side of it, which does leave it a bit open. As we've both said, we both think that City will move in January for players. Andre looks, the more I think about the Andre deal, it makes a lot of sense. Paulinho available for around £50 million. I think that's something that City could go and do. I know we don't particularly move in January for players. I can't really remember too many players that we signed in January. I remember we signed Laporte in January. Did Gabby Jesus come in January? But we signed him in summer. I think we signed him in summer, but he ended up coming in January, or like around that. I don't remember too many January signings, which, I mean, Alvarez. So it's just, it's a weird one from City. It's a weird one, but it's there for a reason. And if we're looking at a player who's good enough to be in the City side and they're available, I don't see a reason why City shouldn't move in January to go and get them.
Yeah, no, I believe we need business. I believe we need business, and I believe we will do business. Once again, not saying David Ornstein's lying or he's making things up, but I don't believe that that's true.
Yeah,
I think we'll see business. Yeah,
Josh says we don't need any more signings. Believe in the process. There will be people who just like, you know what I mean. We'll just go, just run it to the end of the season. We don't need signings. Chat. If we didn't sign anyone in the transfer window in January, are you confident? Just a yes or a no. Are you confident that we can go and win the league and do bits? That's what I want to know.
What's your answer?
I still back us. With this team that we have now, I still back us. I back us a little bit less, but I back us, man. I feel like something will click. I think that something will click in the second half of the season. It's very risky. It's very, the ifs and buts about it are, Craig there. If the squad stays fully fit, yes. If Rodri got injured for 2-3 months, that's genuinely. And I know we're not one team City, but Rodri's so pivotal to our success. If he gets injured for 1 or 2 months, then that's a season defining injury. That.
Absolutely, I agree. I still back us to win it, like I said, like most of you should, but my confidence deteriorates. It deteriorates massively. There's too many risks, man. The risk is too high to not do business in January. Even injuries like Ruben Diaz or Bernardo Silva, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, these kind of guys, they get injured. They're massive blows too. So we need more depth, man. Yeah. We need more depth.
Well, if Rodri gets suspended for 3 games or injured for 3 games and we lose them all, we don't win a league with 7. Imagine 7 losses and winning a league. Has that happened before? What's the most that we've ever lost? 5 and won a league. I wonder what that is. Like, the most that a team has lost and still won the league. Like, I can't imagine it.
I'm sure someone won it with like 68 points once or 69 points.
Yeah, because it'd be mad, wouldn't it? It'd be mad to see. That's a good stat. That's not one for us to find right now. It's one for chat to find. If anyone's watching the back on a replay and you know the answer to that, then let us know in the comment section below, because that's a cool one. Anything more to say, bro? With the January transfers, we're kind of all calling out David Ornstein. I know Dash before said, like, don't believe what he says. Sources aren't it at the moment. And as much as David Ornstein is tier 0 Donny, I think
He's
why are you lying for it?
He's watched. Please be wrong. Please be wrong. No, shout out David Ornstein, man. He knows where he's at, but just
But on the end of January 30th or whatever it is, 31st, whichever one it is, yeah. If I'm sat there, the deadline day, and we've not signed anyone, mate, and I'm going, Ornstein was right, I'll be fuming. I'll be so upset. I'm not like a spoilt fan, but yeah, I'd just be like, fuck's sake, as if we didn't even do anything.
nah, just some serviceable squad players. Like you look at that Andre kid. If like he's another South American prodigy, isn't he? So if he came in and even added the impact that Alvarez has, like Alvarez as a second choice striker, that is, he's not Erling Haaland, he's not as good as Erling Haaland, but he's a very, very good second option striker. If Andre could come in and be a very, very good second option CDM, we're cooking, baby. We're cooking on diesel.
Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy. More in the chat. Blackburn won it with 7 losses. There we go. So if we lose 3 more games, we'd be equaling the 7 losses if we did go on to win the league, which would be that'd be a heavy.
So we can't lose 3 more games, basically.
Yeah, Rodri's got to be fit for every game.
Kev, you better make sure, mate. Kevin De Bruyne, you better make sure.
Yeah, bro, Kev, you need to step the fuck up, man, straight away.
Get that hair out of your eyes. Get that hair out of your eyes. Pull your socks up. Fucking brush your teeth, mate, because it's go time.
Yeah, I want buzz cut for Kev so he doesn't get no hair in his eyes. You know what I mean? I want him full dialed in. Them new bionic legs that he's got, mate, better sort him out. That new hamstring or whatever he's got.
Yeah, man. Elastic band.
Yeah, boy. Right then, appreciate everyone. Big up to everyone who's super chatted. That's our talk of the January signings and a bit about the new Super League decision and the official announcement from City that we're not in it. Big up to everyone. Please like the stream. If you watch this back on a replay, hit a like on it and subscribe to the channel if you're new, and let us know in the comment section below. What's your thoughts on no January signings for City? But yeah, man, we'll see you in the next one with some more content. See you in a bit.